Welcome back to my corner of the internet, guys. I am the Lucid Dream, and on this one we are going to see LIA attempt to spin the narrative that filling out an application for a semi-automatic rifle is in fact a violation of the Second Amendment. Right. First and foremost, though, thank you to all of my channel members and subscribers. Without you, I would not be here. So as always, every day, thank you. Let's go ahead and get into it.
At least they're better than Ryder. They don't close out the entire police department. Pistol license room 101.
Good morning, sir. How are you today? I'm here to submit a completed semi-automatic rifle permit application.
That's not our application.
So New York State law says that you have to accept
application. Do you have a regular pistol license with us?
No, I emailed this department and I was told it's a completely separate application, and under New York State law you have to accept this.
No, I'm not taking it. We don't have that. I have no paperwork like that.
This is what gets submitted to New York State.
Give you our application. If you really have a permit with us, then you don't need that.
I don't need to apply for a pistol permit in order. No, I do not.
Okay, I can give you an application. Do you want an application or no? Otherwise, I got to take the.
I don't want an applicant questionnaire. I want you to take this complete. I want you to take this.
Question.
Sure, you can give me one.
I'll give you an application.
So this video I have watched already, and the reason is I knew it was going to be different, and I wanted to be able to provide context for what I knew that they were going to be complaining about. So in this particular video, this all boils down to the fact they are in Suffolk County, New York, and this gentleman wants to acquire a semi-automatic rifle permit. Now, in this particular county in New York, you have to file for a pistol permit to be able to get a semi-automatic rifle permit. They are not separate. That is his issue, is he does not want to have to file for a pistol permit. He only wants the semi-automatic rifle permit, but the pistol permit has the box to check on the application if you want the semi-automatic rifle permit as well. He still has to go through the background check. He still has to do all of the other things that are required when it comes to getting a permit for a gun in New York State. It is just the fact that he has to file for that pistol permit and then check that box that they are complaining about.
Wow. This is how they treat members of the public. What's his name?
Well, I do our application, then it automatically gets added to your license.
And what is your?
You don't have a separate application for that.
Okay.
All right.
What is your name and shield, please?
Officer Cascone, 5845.
Thank you.
Next.
But doesn't he have to legally take this?
He does. Yes.
So show him the statute.
Next.
He's a law enforcement officer. He's just going to show you the statute, Sergeant.
I'm taking one of his next.
No, he's just going to show you the statute.
Accepted for processing by the licensing officer at the time of presentment.
He's showing you a law, the statute, when it comes to pistol permits.
I'm done with you guys.
But
Have a good day.
I already just showed you the law.
Have a good day.
Sir, he's just trying to show you the statute.
I told you. Have a good day.
You're a law enforcement officer. Shouldn't you want to see the statute?
Now, the statute that they are talking about is Article 400 of the New York State Code, subsection 4A, where it talks about the fact that applications for licenses shall be accepted for processing by the licensing officer at the time of presentment. They are using some creative thinking to twist that into meaning that the officer has to take the application, that he doesn't have a choice, that he has to take the application, when that is actually not correct. So there are actually things in there written in for delays in accepting applications, etc. But beyond that, he does not have the proper application filled out. As we just found out, he does have to fill out a pistol permit to be able to get the permit for the semi-automatic rifle in Suffolk County. That is the application that he needs to submit, not whatever paperwork he has in his hand. He has to submit that pistol permit.
Terrible service.
Can you show you the statute?
I'm gonna fill that out.
Can we speak to your supervisor?
Terrible communication skills.
Are you a supervisor, sir?
No, but you guys are supposed to wait out in the doorway until you're called in, okay?
Well, we were called in. We were called
You were
in.
called in, but you guys weren't, correct?
I'm with him. I'm with him.
But you're not connecting any transactions today, right?
Right, so I'm just
So
documenting his
you can document
experience
from
because
right
he
here.
has.
That's totally fine. You can document
This is a
from right
public
here.
area,
It's a safety
sir.
issue. This is
not
not
a
a public
safety
area.
issue.
You're outside of command, and you just stand outside
It's
here.
not a safety issue. Stop,
I'm
sir.
sorry, sir. I'm going to ask you one more time politely to
It
please
is.
move out of the doorway.
It is not a
Sir, I'm
safety
gonna ask you
issue.
one more time.
It is not a
Very
safety
politely.
issue, sir.
Okay.
It is not a
Give me
safety
1
issue.
second, okay?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Thank you.
His rights are being violated. His Second Amendment right.
I don't get a license. It's that fucking easy.
Did that lady just curse at us?
Yes.
That's public servants for you. Where's the statute? It's the law. I don't understand why he would want to see the law.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Well, he has terrible communication skills. That's the issue.
No, I know, but he's also a fucking cop.
So? Shouldn't they have better communication skills instead of getting angry?
No, I would just, if someone else
Not cops, because they can't handle it?
So LIA really gets on my nerves in this one. Number one, he completely dominates the video. So the original intention, from what I can tell of the video, is this guy who's trying to file the permit. We barely hear from him at all. So LIA completely takes over. But number two, he has such a bad attitude the entire video. This officer is nothing but nice to him. Even when LIA is a complete dick, this officer is nothing but nice to him. You know, the officer is telling him it's a safety issue because there's too many people in that tiny room. And he's just asking them to move out because it's too many people in that tiny room. They aren't conducting business. And he says, go ahead, film. You can film from right here. But he has to give him attitude.
I mean, they should be trained better. They should have better communication skills.
Dude, I'm talking to him, not you.
Oh, but I heard you.
Hey, Paul, I would just try and see if you could speak to a supervisor about it, because,
Say he was coming back out, or?
I mean, he's just trying to intimidate, but I would speak to a supervisor about what you're,
Yeah, let me we're going to speak to.
you shouldn't be treated that way. You're just trying to, you're trying to get your rights, just like everybody in this line is trying to do the same thing, right? It's our Second Amendment right. I don't understand why he would treat you that way and not accept your documents.
I was looking to speak to somebody from IAB.
Right, I give you a phone number.
Is there not somebody that can come down? Because every time I call, they don't answer me to get an update on a complaint that I've already submitted.
So IAB is actually not here. They're located in Hot Bugs. I'll give you a phone number. 1 second.
Could you also give me the address in Hot Bugs?
Sure.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, here is the phone number. You can just call to make an appointment with them.
Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Try and get some clarification here.
Man, this is nothing.
I'm in one of them.
He's filing lawsuits about it.
And McGregor.
Look how he slammed the door.
If you look at the plaintiff list on police on that lawsuit, McGregor at all. So
They a bunch of tyrants.
Hang on, just give me 1 second.
thank you, sir.
I will start over for a second. Is there something that you need help with today?
Yes.
Yes, sir. So I had reached out to the Licensing Bureau for a semi-automatic rifle license. Now, there wasn't anything on the PLB's website, so I reached out by email. Was told, hey, it's the same paperwork. But so I tried to submit, as per 400.00 subdivision 3.
Okay, I don't do law books right now.
Okay,
so,
well,
this right here is not our paperwork. This is not what we require.
Right, but here,
This is what we require.
I understand, but that's not part
Isn't that a
of
questionnaire?
the penal code, right? So right here, 400.00 subdivision 5 and 3.
This is not our required paperwork.
Well,
Okay, so I think what is going on here is he has basically a handmade application, similar to what a frauditor does when he asks for a blank piece of paper and says, I want to do a FOIA. He has handmade an application based on a part of the statute that says as long as it contains all of this information, it's fine. Now, I think where the problem here lies is New York State appears to have passed a law when it comes to semi-automatic rifles, and they are claiming that it is unconstitutional to make them file for a pistol permit because apparently pistols take longer. So from everything that I'm reading, I'm looking at a couple of lawsuits, I'm looking at Reddit, I'm looking at articles. That seems to be the big complaint, is because the pistol permits take so long and there are requirements. It looks like there's some range requirements, there's some qualifications. all of that is now applying to semi-automatic rifles, where I guess rifles were their own category before. It didn't require that.
Well, then this is not required according to New York State law. I mean, I understand that it's something
I
that's
suppose you can take that up with New York State, but this is what we require to start your
I have.
process.
So, no, I mean, listen, I want to be respectful. I want to have a conversation.
I don't
I'm not saying
take
that.
you as disrespectful.
Yeah, but so my issue is this has to be accepted, right? I have the statute right in front of me at time of presentment. Now, right here. Processing and licensing applications for licenses shall be accepted for processing by the licensing officer at the time of presentment. I mean, that's a New York State application.
He's presenting them to you, sir.
It's completed. I have the $10 money.
Are you all right? You're shaking.
I'm a little nervous.
Okay, no reason to be nervous. So,
I mean, when you
I
get
know
treated that
that's-
way, sir,
excuse
people are
me
going to
one
be
second.
nervous.
I'll be happy to talk.
I'm
to
just
you in a second.
explaining why he's nervous.
And I'm trying to explain to you that for safety reasons and for every bit of our training, we usually direct our conversation to one person at a time. The reason for that is so that I can be engaged with the person that I'm with. He clearly has a lot of questions. I'm totally okay with you videoing us. That's okay. We have a procedure here that we only have the people that we're having direct interaction with in here. The exception to that rule is if we're doing a person-to-person transfer, which we can do here if it's parent to child or spouse to
I understand
spouse.
that, sir, but there's a way
Otherwise-
of treating people. That's
Excuse me,
one of
sir.
the clerks cursed at us.
I'm talking. I was almost there. So
Great.
as soon as I'm done with that, then you can finish.
That's
okay?
fine, sir, but I'm
So
telling you that one of your
you're not
clerks
telling
was.
me anything
I
at
am.
my
I'm
command.
telling you that they're.
You're not telling me
Sir,
anything.
you're behind a desk for a reason.
Okay.
Let's be real, right? Let's be honest with each other. You're behind this desk for a reason, right? You're here because you weren't good out in the field. You were a danger to society. That's how these things work. So be
That's
real
how
with
what
yourself.
things
Be real with yourself, sir.
For context, I just returned from reliving my negative experience with Connecticut State Trooper Brian Fahey the day before. He is a psycho that was put in charge of gun permits.
This psycho is in charge of people getting their pistol permit.
I sensed a similar mentality with these individuals here, a short fuse and an inability to listen.
This is the way you've treated me, and the way that your
All I did was
partner
ask
is
you to
treated,
leave the room.
and the way
All
your
I did was
partner,
ask you to leave the room.
the way your
All I
partner
did was
treated
ask you to
me,
leave
and
the
the
room.
way that
All I did was
woman
ask you to leave the room.
cursed at us and
All
said
I
it's
did was
that
ask you to leave the room.
effing simple.
All I did was ask you to leave
You're a
the room.
public servant, sir. I'm a taxpayer of
said that
Suffolk
you
County.
could sit right
I didn't treat anybody with disrespect. I'm still not treating you with disrespect, but we were treated with
You did when I
disrespect.
told you to come outside to the doorway and you told me no.
Right, because
Right?
you're
you got that?
because you don't have
right.
of
That
course.
You took a direct order from a police officer to step outside
Sir,
the
I
doorway.
don't take
and you
orders
said
from
no.
police officers, sir.
Why not?
Because you have
Why
no
not?
law. You have no authority over me. I'm not breaking the law, sir.
You are when you're
I'm
inside
not.
a
What
police
law is it, sir?
command.
What law is it?
You're inside of a police command.
What law is it, sir?
It would be trespassing because I'm telling you to leave and you're not doing it.
Not trespassing, sir. I'm licensed
That's
and privileged
fine.
to be here.
Okay.
You,
You're licensed
you
to
should
be
know
here.
who I am, so
This
you
is
should know that
public
it's never
domain.
worked out.
This is inside
I don't know why
command.
you're doing this, because it's never worked out for you guys before, and
Because you
it's
interrupted me when this patron was
just telling you.
asking a question.
right.
So
I'm
if you
here to
like, I can
support
finish
him.
with him.
I'm here to support him.
That's
sir.
fine.
He asked me to be here,
That's
sir.
fine. Support and silence. It'll probably go a lot further with him.
No, sir. Because you kicked us out, and he's trying to show you a
Didn't
law,
kick
sir.
you out. And again, review your tape. I said you could be here. You needed to be outside here.
Okay.
Every person who's standing
Can you
behind
review the
who's
law?
been here before knows that it's only the person at
So
the window that's
do you
here.
accept the
no
treatment?
one else can be inside.
Do you
here.
condone the treatment of the people in your command, as you say?
What is the treatment?
Cursing, yelling.
I didn't hear any of that. so
Okay,
I'm
sure.
I don't know what you're
Sir,
speaking.
let's just show him the law. He's a law enforcement officer. This is his command. Just show him the law.
So whether LIA wants to add in context or not, I feel like he is really out of line, not just with the officer, but kind of with the guy that he's with. So I don't know this person. I did look at his GoFundMe. I looked at a couple of the lawsuits that have been filed against New York State. Again, I am not a gun aficionado, so I don't know a ton about this, but it seems like he is truly trying to enact change within the state, and somehow he got involved with LIA. I don't know that story, but LIA is dominating this entire video, which of course you can expect him to. It's on his channel. It's for his views. This is for his benefit. He chucked the guy $100 on his GoFundMe and said thanks. But I kind of feel sorry for him because I feel like he actually believes in what he is doing. Whether he is right or wrong, I can't say. But I do believe that he may actually be trying to enact change within the state. And I think he may be going about it the wrong way, associating with LIA.
Hey, you want him to hold it? Or?
Yeah, no, please, if you.
That's fine.
Yeah. A couple of pages there, but the one we're referencing right now is right there.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we don't really have anything else. Give me some light. All right. If anything,
Why doesn't the state police have a questionnaire?
Well, it's not part of the statute, right? So it says anything.
So that's specific to Suffolk County, that they just make you do a questionnaire?
Yeah, whoever the next person is with business, you're welcome to step up. Through a window over there.
So that questionnaire is not permitted by law?
So,
It says no other.
so here's the best way I'm going to answer this, and I can keep going with this all day. By no means am I saying that this is correct or incorrect. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, because this is a Xerox copy that came off of what looks like a cell phone or a computer. I don't know its origin.
I screenshot it. May I pull
No,
up on my phone for you?
Hold on one second.
Oh, sure.
All right. This is not something that I abide by. All right. Because it's not coming through my chain of command from my department. When they do give this to me and say that this is how this is our procedure, this is the model that we're gonna follow, then I will to the letter follow that. For now, in the most simplest way that I can answer, the procedure that I have to follow that is given to me through my chain of command, to the Suffolk County Police Department, from our chief licensing officer, which would be the police commissioner ultimately, okay, and then comes down to my command, to my lieutenant, to my sergeant, and then disseminated down to us to follow the rules. This is the only one that we're allowed to accept. Until I hear otherwise, I'm not allowed to accept that. That is the simplest answer that I can give you. I'm not allowed to change the rules because I'm forbade to. All right, I'm not allowed to.
Can I pull it up directly on New York State's website?
You
for
can, but again, in case you didn't understand that, we have to follow things. Go ahead.
So the one thing that they are hyper-focusing on is that one sentence that says the application shall be accepted. However, I really feel like they are twisting this to make it seem like it says that, they have to accept the application, and that's not it. That's not the way I read it. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I read this statute is that when you bring the application in, it's going to be accepted by the officer presenting it. You're not going to take it back with you. You're not going to do it online. You're going to bring it in. They're going to take it. But he hasn't brought in the application. He has brought in this handmade application for a semi-automatic rifle permit and not a pistol permit, which in Suffolk County you can't do. So repeating this statute over and over and over again isn't going to do anything because it doesn't apply to the application he has in his hand. He doesn't have the proper application. If he fills out the proper application, yeah, they're going to take it. That's all there is to it. So I really feel like he is trying to make something of this one sentence that really isn't going to happen. Square peg, round hole. That is not going to happen.
We have to follow rules, rank, and file. So I am, and I'm sure you're going to love to hear this, I am the bottom. Okay? I follow orders from the top. The top tells me this is what I receive. I do this, I start your process, and I'm very happy to accept this from you today. All right? I can even give you some detailed direction on things like how you put your references, any prior arrests. I can tell you what's a deal killer, what's not. This stuff appears at face value to be very informative. Seems like a lot of things going on in here, all right? And a lot of these things we touch on, but the bottom line is that the procedure from my department is to answer on this. This is what you can show me all you want, but again, I am not the commanding officer. I am not the executive officer.
Is there a commanding officer I can speak to?
There is not. There'll be somebody back here.
What's your position here, sir?
So I'm a police officer. My name is Officer Westenhoff. My shield is 2218.
Do you see, officer, how it comes off as that's dangerous, that what you just said, that you just follow orders from command? He's showing you a law and you're saying, I don't follow the law, I follow orders from my chain of command or else I'll get in trouble. He's showing you a law from an official.gov website and you're saying, I only follow orders. That's scary as members of the public.
I follow orders because that's what's kept me safe and alive, and all the people around me safe and alive since 2005.
So would you follow any order?
Would I follow any order
Any
from my
order.
chain of command? If I found it to be reasonable?
How about like they move over there and so that other people can do their business? Like can you move like
Are you the person that used profanity, ma'am? Are you the? There was somebody that used profanity. I'd just like to speak to a supervisor regarding that disrespect. Someone used profanity, ma'am. It's on video.
Today?
Yeah, today.
Oh, I just got here.
Okay. There was a woman working on that counter before you, and she used the F word in front of towards a member of the public. And as a taxpayer of Suffolk County, I think that's unacceptable to be treated that way. Okay.
We got them.
I don't use profanity on a day-to-day basis at all.
We got them out this far. They were on the side.
Oh, no, I just wanted like move this.
Yeah, whoever's next.
I'm all the way to the side.
Sure. Would it be all right if we just stepped over here? You can keep
Yeah,
your camera
yeah, sure,
face that
no
way if
problem.
you like. So I want to go back to just what you said for 1 second because I don't want you to think I ignored your question. As long as I believe it to be right and reasonable and in the course of my duty, the answer is yes, I would follow any order that I was given.
So, but he's showing you that this order that you're given is in violation of the law, sir. That's all. Again, we started off on the wrong foot, but I'm not.
And all I'm saying,
you can ask her around
I
here.
hope you understand that. I am not the person to overturn or change that.
Right.
Yeah, again, I feel like LIA is being really disingenuous here, trying to make something of this that it's not. The way they are interpreting this statute, I don't feel like that is the way it's written. It reads differently to me than the way they are trying to present it.
I'm not the guy. There's certainly people here. You can ask the people at the window. They will direct you there. Anybody you want.
Who is in charge of pistol records?
So
Pistol permits?
Well, it's a chain of command. It
Right.
could be Sergeant
But
Bowen.
there's somebody that's in charge of
Yeah,
the
we have a
type.
sergeant. We have Sergeant Bowen. We have above him
Lieutenant.
Pomerowski. And then there's a chain of command that goes upstairs.
Right.
After that. Inspectors.
But the lieutenant would be directly in charge.
Yeah, he's
But is there somebody that runs? Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to know. And
I'm sorry it took me so long to find it.
It's okay.
But 4B, New York Senate.gov, processing. It's the same as with paperwork, but processing license applications. 4 licenses shall be accepted for processing by the licensing officer at the time of presentment. So I'm here to present it. It's completed. I have the payment. I have the required photographs, 2x2.
Again, this is what I'm required to take.
Right, but Officer Westenhoff, I mean, you had said to me, right, that if I had showed you something that didn't look like it was, screenshotted on paper, which I'm pulling it up on New York State.
But that's not been authorized by my chain of command. I have to follow this.
So
do you understand that?
I do. I understand that, but I mean, they're not
because-
authorizing you to follow the law. That's what's upsetting
Only because I'm answering your question, and then you're following it up with another question. I'm going to give you the same answer again. I can't change this.
Sure, I
I have
understand
no
that.
authority to change anything like that. None. And the people you would need to talk to wiggle that around, to move that, they're not available right now. Not because they're in another room, not because they're tasked somewhere else. They're not in today. Now, you're welcome to come back next week when they are here. If you're not satisfied with that, the window over here at Public Information, I'll be happy to direct you to any other person of authority, supervisory level, whatever you'd like, in this building. I can come down and speak with you. I can give you phone numbers.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you have a card?
I don't get business cards, but I'll be happy to write down contact telephone number.
Right.
You can call and ask whatever questions you like, or you can schedule an appointment, and perhaps maybe even have a meeting where you can get more thorough information.
You've made it clear that you're going to follow your orders, not the law that you're looking at. That's fine. We want to, like you said,
Again,
we want to take it up with the people
Again,
that are
as a
giving you
police
these
officer,
orders.
I have to do what's right and reasonable. Okay.
Right. Well, as a police officer, you have to follow the law.
And I'm given orders through a chain of command.
And you made that
is
clear.
what I'll follow.
And that's why I want to, we would just like to speak. We made that clear. We don't want to waste any more of your time. We would just like to get
This is not a waste of
information.
my time. I'm here until 4 o'clock today. So
We would like to just get the information for your chain of command that it's giving you these unlawful orders.
I'll be happy to do that. I'm going to give you
Appreciate
this back
it.
right now. All right. Do you still want this?
No, thank you.
Would you like to fill this out today and
sir,
submit this? Because here's why. We do have a list of people that we deal with. We take it in an order that we receive it. And if you'd like to get it started today, that brings you one day closer to getting called in for an interview.
So my problem with that is I did submit that when I submitted my pistol permit application. It was denied, but for reasons that, you said you take it up with the court. I have my 2 lawsuits going on there. That's fine.
Do you want me to try to give you some direction on that, or maybe a contact person that you can talk to about that?
I spoke to Lieutenant, I slept with an M. I don't.
Okay, so I missed that the first time around, that his pistol permit had been denied. That makes a little bit more sense and adds a little bit more context to this, because without that pistol permit, he can't get the license for a semi-automatic rifle in Suffolk County. Now, now it makes a little bit more sense to me. I was a little confused because the very simple fact that this guy is a gun advocate and he's an advocate for the Second Amendment, I feel like he would already have this pistol permit. So if this was all for show and it's with LIA, it didn't really fit. Knowing that his pistol permit was denied and he can't file an application just for these semi-automatic rifles, it makes a little bit more sense.
I don't recall his name off the top of my head, but I spoke to the lieutenant. He said, hey, you have to wait 2 years to reapply. That didn't make sense to me. It's not in statute. I suppose it's one of those chain of command things.
Well, it's probably something that came out of legal bureau. Again, an area I don't work in.
Sure, and
I'm not a qualified attorney, so I don't.
And he's handling it with lawsuits. So that's.
I don't want to ask you to speak outside your area of expertise. Sure. I understand that. It's just my problem is that is what ultimately gets submitted to the state, and I'm not asking a question. Is this and so that is really just hey, wait a year to get your interview. Then they sit you down and say, hey, this is your application. Now our 6-month time clock starts. Which is just not right. So if we could just get the chain of command information,
sure.
I'd appreciate it.
Sure.
So ultimately, they knew when they walked in the door that none of this was actually going to work. This was a demonstration for the camera, possibly to spread awareness. I don't know the ulterior motive, but none of this was actually going to fly in the first place because the man has already been denied a pistol permit. Again, I am not a gun enthusiast. I don't know a ton about gun laws. To me, it sounds reasonable to have a permit for a semi-automatic rifle. But again, I don't know the ins and outs, so I'm not going to say yes or no if it is constitutional. I would think it is, but that's not for me to decide. This is a little bit of a strange one because it's not really an audit, even though the LIA is involved and he's a total douche in the video. It's not really an audit. I feel like this was done specifically to draw attention to an issue. They've got a couple of lawsuits going on. They've got the GoFundMe. More power to them. If it ends up that this is an unconstitutional restriction, I wish them well. But LA is still a little bitch. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see, and I will catch you on the next one.